Hello, my beautiful gemstones. Welcome to Afternoon Talk, Tuesday's Afternoon Talk. So far, I see Miss Shelley. So I did do, just today, I managed to kind of eke it out, the members only video for Friday, which is cases of mass hysteria. So we're going to talk about the dancing plague and some other cases. I had to kind of throw that together. I want to do something different for members than what I do on the regular channel. But as most of you know, I was incredibly sick this week. Sunday, I couldn't even get out of bed. I lost an entire day of work, which really is not good. It really makes me suffer when I lose a Sunday or a Friday, because those are my long days. I get the entire day, not just, 5 or 6 hours of it. And therefore, what I have is what I have. And with my full day doctor appointment tomorrow, I miss an entire day of work as well. So I don't know how I'm going to even come up with Monday's upload, but I will do my best to work it out. I just finished a short series on moon signs, but in each 60-second moon sign video, I had to let you guys know where to go to find your moon sign. So it was a little awkward. I kept running out of time. I'm a little bit frustrated with it, but I'm trying to do new things. I'm trying to come up with some new stuff to do for shorts, because even my regular astrology shorts really don't get many views, my shorts oracle. But we're doing the best we can. I am extremely sick, still, like very congested, very stuffy, but I couldn't miss more than one day of work. The show must go on. Hello, Miss Smoochie. Hello, Mr. Stoddard. And Miss Shelley, yes, I appreciate that, but I don't know who you thanked, because we do not have Discord. So I don't even really know what that is. I mean, I've heard of it, but yeah, not sure what it is. Steven's talking in the background as though we can hear him. So I'm going to bring him in now.
No, I'll show you what it is. And maybe it's not a bad idea to have a Discord.
Right now, it's like just so much.
I could do it.
I need to get on Rumble. We were supposed to do that. I need to find out about X. Yeah, but it's been months now, and YouTube just takes more and more every month. They just take more and take more and take more.
Yes, they do.
And,
Well, there's been a lot going on. You've been sick. I've been sick. I think everybody in this house has been sick. I know everybody in your house has been sick.
I mean, guys, don't get me wrong. I get, sniffles, and I lose my voice a lot because I live with a kindergartner. But what happened to me Sunday was something completely other. I couldn't lift my head. I was crawling from the bed to the bathroom. So yesterday I kind of had to get up and get my son ready for school. And I was just praying that as time went on, because I usually only get 24-hour bugs. This is still going though. And I've been kind of not feeling well since, last Friday. But I really made a bad mistake when I took my 5-year-old who had a very bad sinus infection, and I took his saline, merely wiped it with a tissue and used it. And I believe that's how I transferred whatever he had to me. Now he's feeling better, which is great. It just started snowing.
It's been snowing violently.
Well,
you'll get it worse than us.
Sick puppy. Absolutely. Mark Halstead, what's up, sweetie?
Yeah, she had
I felt
bad for her Sunday. I had to send her medicine. I felt so bad.
Yeah, thank God.
Give this girl some medicine.
What's up, Blue Crossroads? So yeah, I'm like I said, I'm kind of doing better. I'm better than I was on Sunday. And I was able to get some work done. So that's kind of what matters to me. But then I have this all-day doctor appointment tomorrow, which is just so annoying. So I'm hoping the snow doesn't stick. But it just started out of the clear blue sky.
Supposed to.
Sometimes I look out my window into the woods and I just see weird stuff. So of course, when I'm sick and I'm really defensive down, is when I end up getting I guess I would say attacked by visitations, right? So we had with Monica when Monica came in on last Friday when we were doing live intuitive oracle, and I was like, that name sounds like a troll, because I didn't know it was Monica. It actually was something that went on between her and I a few months ago where I blocked her for a little bit. And I just want to make that clear because everyone was kind of laughing like, wow, Gemma, you were about to be kind of mean and it only ended up being Monica. And it's like, no, she and I did have some issues where, you know, she needed me to do, or she wanted me to do something for her that I was very not comfortable with doing. Plus when I'm sick, I can't do that type of work. And I don't do that type of work anyway, even privately, unless, you know, the person's really desperate and, you know, I don't do it for free. So that was the issue there. I did realize that it was her, but, you know, she and I are good now and she's struggling a lot with her son. But I just want to make that clear that I wasn't wrong. That was the name I was thinking it was. I just hadn't realized that it was Monica. So yeah. Yeah, Mark, I'm feeling better than I was Sunday. So that's something. I'm really not looking forward to my doctor appointment tomorrow, but I'm never looking forward to that doctor appointment. It's just an all day thing, you know?
Yeah. And it does take a chunk out of your time.
I lose a day of work. I lose a whole day of work because my son gets on the bus at 8:00 and I've got to be there by 11 and I don't get home until like 2:30 and he gets off the bus at like 3:15, 3:20. So I get no work done. And that's, you know, for me, that's like the worst is to like not be able to work at all during the day because I have personals to do. I have the script for Monday to do, plus the editing. I've got shorts I'm trying to keep up with. I now have member stuff that I'm trying to really push out to the members because they've been waiting so patiently for me to put stuff out for months. I didn't even realize I had members and I wasn't putting anything out. So nice. I have to start doing my Christmas shopping this week. I get paid on Friday and my mom and I were talking about it. She's like, I haven't even started. I'm like, me either. Like, I don't know where the time even went.
I haven't. Well, that's not true. Giles did pick up something from my oldest daughter so I could send her.
Hello, Miss Pixie.
Miss Pixie, are you streaming Thursday?
I believe she said she was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just let me know.
So Miss Pixie has a guest coming on. So hopefully sometime soon. She's working that out.
Yeah, I didn't get my notice either, but that's YouTube.
That's really frustrating because I did share out the notice.
I know you did.
And that's what I mean, you guys. Like, that's what's so messed up right now is that, like, I have this kind of wonky schedule where things could change on a dime. So it can't be like I try to make it every Tuesday at 1. Oracle every Friday at 7:15, you know. But if I can't, you guys aren't even being notified. And that's what's really pissing me off about.
And not everybody does Facebook.
Right. Exactly. So very frustrating, but you know, it is what it is. I'm just waiting I just want to feel better, guys. Like, I just get so moody and just agitated when I don't feel good. Like, I'm such a diva. I just want to lay in bed. Even though Sunday, like, all I kept doing was looking from my bed to my computer. Like, if I could just get, like, muster the strength to, you know, do at least my day job, which I have weekends off, but I always try to work on Sundays and get caught up, like, to get myself ahead for the week with that. You did get yours through YouTube.
Miss Pixie, just pick a day, Tuesday night through Thursday. And if she can pick one of those nights, if you want to do it on a Wednesday night, do it on a Wednesday night. And when you're done, I'll just jump on my stream. So it's not a big deal.
That's kind of what I was saying, Lara. Like, don't make it like they have to be there Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. You know what I'm saying? Because that might not work, like, ever for somebody. Yeah. Like, that time doesn't work for me ever. I'll never be able to do a show if that were the time, unless I really worked something out. So we want it to be very flexible for you so that you can bring your guest on and you guys can have a good time and not have to worry about you know, anything like that. As long as it doesn't interfere with basically Oracle, you should be good to go. So Miss Shelley, we yeah. So I did the members only video. We talked about it. So we talked about it a little bit. I think I don't remember if we talked about it last Tuesday. I don't think I'd put it out.
You brought it up.
Right. But what I was saying was, I don't think I put it out by then unless I had just put it out that day. So I was talking about dark spirits and you know, of course, there's going to be a lot of confusion with things like that. And to try to move this to a little bit of a paranormal, something very interesting happened. So I was trying to figure out, you know, I get emails of people questions about certain things, and I get questions and comments of streams sometimes. And just like people texting me and asking me like, hey, what about this situation? What about that situation? So I came up with an example of someone that I can't say the person's name because I don't ever want to be sued, you know, by this person's family, but you'll be able to probably figure out who it is. And if not, it should give you the gist of an idea. But I think I want to use this case as an example of a dark spirit, because I think it'll be surprising why this person ended up. Sylvia Brown calls it through the left door, which I always say, like, I think that's a weird way of putting it, but let's just call it the left door for now to like simplify matters, right? So this person spent her entire life being an atheist, okay? A purposeful atheist who I think grew up in a Catholic family, but I'm not sure. In the mid 90s, like she was one of the first people with her family to complain about prayer in school. And she made this whole organization. She had her first name and then her last name was hyphenated. She was a proud atheist. She was a very big atheist. She went on talk shows and she did a lot in the 90s, right? She ended up disappearing, and it turned out that she had been killed by somebody. They found her body and the body of her family in the desert. So that might give you an idea of who this person is, okay? And people are always like, oh, well, she was an atheist. No. That is not why she was immediately put into the womb and reborn upon her death. Being an atheist does not mean you don't go to the other side. Just because you're an atheist, it mainly means like you just didn't accept the belief this time around. And you probably contracted not accepting the belief into your chart. We have to remember about contracts, guys. The reason this happened to this person, no, she wasn't like a serial killer. She was a manipulative, ornery, angry, mean, spiteful person, knowingly and on purpose, with no mental illness, mental defect, or real reason as to why, except she was. But the real reason as to why she was is because this is like her 25th incarnation of death reborn, death reborn, death reborn. You have no contract with the creator. You have no spirit guides. You have no guardians looking out for you. You have no soul family or soul kin around you. You are merely born. Lost. Now, hopefully, you know, in an incarnation, you will somehow come to be a better person, to get that spark of light back in you. And that is when you will be welcomed home to the other side, heaven, whatever you want to call it, when you pass away. So a lot of people, I think, are shocked to know that people who are atheists are welcomed just like anyone else to the other side, because it's not a religious thing. It just is what it is. It just is what it is, you know. No matter what we humans make of it, it is what it is. And whether you believe that's what it is or not, it doesn't make it not so. You could not believe your entire life. That doesn't make it not so. And I don't know how else to explain that without getting too religious or political. I believe, you know, all light workers, we don't have to worry about things like that unless we get involved in some dark stuff and end up losing our connection to the divine, to the creator, to source, for lack of a better way of putting it, right? Oh, Ghost Dragons, thank you so much. Excuse me. My December paycheck from YouTube is going to look nice. Well, I don't know what about that would trigger you, Miss Smoochie, but that's definitely not my intention. I'm trying to be positive and upbeat about the things that I'm saying, and I don't know.
Unfortunately, you can't discuss certain things without bringing topics
sometimes
up.
It's hard. I'm not trying to talk about religion to say that there's another side, though, that there's somewhere we go when we pass away. So my main point of that was people asking about dark spirits, and an example of someone who wasn't like a killer. A lot of people think that, you know, you have to be a serial killer or, you know, something crazily done, when really you don't even have to make much difference in a world outside your own if you are a spiteful, manipulative, narcissistic person. And I didn't get our notification either.
But Mark did. See, it's just kind of selective. I don't know why.
Sent them out.
How you doing, Ed? Are you feeling good today? Getting a little strength back? Hello, Divine. How are you?
Hello, Miss Divine Empathic. So yeah, guys, if you haven't been in the loop, I am definitely getting better, but Sunday was a disaster for me. I have not slept the entire day away in years, but I couldn't do anything but. So I am a little behind on work, but nothing I can't catch up with, hopefully by the end of this week, or at least on Friday. My mom already has plans for this weekend, so I'm not going there again. So Intuitive Oracle will be Friday again. Yeah, I don't ever want to trigger anyone. Thank you, Miss Shelley. I don't know which to comment on first. Miss Shelley, that's tremendous. Thank you very, very much. Guys, I don't know. Miss Shelley's not the first person to mention a Discord. Neither Ghost Dragons nor I, nor do we have a joint Discord together. Okay, so if you're donating to something that says GemmaJade, Ghost Dragons, both, or some form of the two, let me know, okay? Because we don't have that. We've looked into it. And we're going to get it, but we don't have one as of yet. So
if somebody's got a Discord using us, I want to know about it.
You're not the first person to have said that. Spine doctor today took all the paperwork. Yeah, and you know, you're a fighter, and I feel like I don't even think it's just you, but you remind me of this, like when we are charting our path for this life. So we're in the fifth dimension, on the other side, wherever you want to say we are, charting this path and deciding who's going to do what, and we choose our life themes, right? We're gung-ho about it. We're like, there's no way we're not going to, you know, be able to get through this temptation. And there's no way, because it's we don't understand the lack of connection, because everything over there is connected. Right? So we don't, it's like, we know it's going to happen, but we think it can't possibly be as bad as last time. You know, this time I'll have a little bit more connect. And we chart these insane paths for ourselves. A lot of celebrities, I can't say a lot of celebrities, like that's a very general statement, but a lot of celebrities that I've come across, because as a medium who just started using my abilities, you don't think I pulled some celebrities in who I admire and adore and wanted to know more about. A lot of them did their last incarnation when we knew them as a celebrity, because they just charted bang, 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 boom, you know? And when I think about a lot of the stuff that you're going on right now, that's going on with you right now, and how strong you are and how you're intent on persevering, but it still kind of gets you down sometimes, which, you know, as it should. I think about you sitting there and like probably someone in your soul family going, are you sure in 2023 you want to, and you're like, leave me alone. I'm fine. I got this, you know, like every time lately that something happens to me, I always think to myself, like, why did I do this? Why did I do this? You know? Roger Blair, what's up?
Nut slap.
So guys, I just want to, nut slap. Hey, sorry. I saw you talking in there, but I didn't say hi. So I want to preface something really fast. And I know I haven't shut up yet, but I just did a quick 60-second for each moon sign. The 60-second format is hard for me with readings. I was reading some notes that I took for each moon sign, but in the beginning of every single one of them, so 12 of them, I had to tell you guys where to go to find out about your moon sign and XYZ. So I did turn comments off for them, which I normally don't do anymore for my 60-second astrology, but for the moon signs, I was a little off kilter. I was also in a rush because I knew I had to be here. So take them for what they're worth, and we'll talk more about moon signs and ascendants going forward. Nomeo.
And yes, never give up. But I'm going to tell you something. And it wasn't your time. There was a message there somewhere in all that, but it wasn't your time. Okay. You're needed here, and something's trying to tell you that you're needed here. You keep getting told with the animals. I keep telling you they're going to come visit you. And what happened? A woodpecker came and knocked on your window. So there's a reason what's going on, and you're slowly opening your eyes more and more every day. And now you're getting to the point where you're like, uh-oh, I can see everything. It's coming. And just be ready, because there's a lot of things coming your way that I don't think you realize. And it's building your strength.
I think, and no, don't feel that you should feel a certain way, right? You feel how you do, and be unapologetic about it. I think you've had a lot of abilities throughout your life that you didn't, you either weren't aware of or weren't comfortable even thinking about. And you did what I've done it, where we just kind of block it out. And I decided to open up to it, so I didn't end up unaliving myself either accidentally or on purpose. But not everybody has the same spirit, right? You were probably able to better control it. And I feel like a lot of what's going on with you right now, this is just like intuitively what I'm feeling, is all of that light, that magic, so to speak. And I don't necessarily mean magic, just like catching back up with you. And this is like the universe showing you again and again and again and again and again how special you truly are. And maybe you missed some things you were meant to do, but take this time now, while you absolutely must, and think about that, and I'm not saying I'm not telling you to do that. I feel like that is one of the messages being played out here of like, well, you know what? Now you have no choice but to kind of sit around and think about what's going on. Deer in your yard every night. I heard something really loud in my yard Sunday night. It woke me up. I had to have my window cracked because I guess I had a high fever and it was like really hot. And my house is made of stones, so it's always freezing in here, even with the heater on. But I was just too hot, and all I heard rawr, and bam. And I was like, oh, the bears are out. I don't know.
Probably.
Always hibernate,
Yeah, well, they're getting ready to, because the weather's been so funky. Sometimes they hibernate a little later, so they're probably scrounging. There's probably a few still out, trying to fill their bellies one last time before they go Betty bye.
Miss Pixie, you're absolutely right. And another thing that made me think of is the things that we inadvertently bring over from other incarnations, that we're not aware of. And I'm not talking about like birthmark scars. I'm talking about real fears and real deep-seated issues that we've accumulated over lifetimes of experiencing the same thing. I know it's funny because of the song, The Dawning of the Age of Aquarius or whatever, but this is the kind of coming of age time period for a lot of light workers. And this is a lot of the reason why a lot of us chose to incarnate at this time, because we have a very, very unique chance in this century's time span. And I think it started in like the 1920s, and it'll go to, I'm talking about a century as more than a century. So I guess we would say a century and a half, because I was thinking the 2060s, where we are able to break those ancestral curses and break bonds from other incarnations. Like, I know I have deep-seated abandonment issues, and I know they're not just from this lifetime. Because we tend to chart things for ourselves that are a repeat of previous lives, because our soul needs to gain that experience and work through those issues before we can, move on from those issues and choose new issues. And we have advanced souls and we have new souls. And I know a lot of people are like, what do you mean by a new soul? It doesn't mean the soul was just created. It means that person just hasn't incarnated on earth as many times as most people. A famous, and I'll go into celebrity again because they're easy to talk about. What's up, Jarvis? Yes, I did immediately think of when my husband came home with my son. I had to call him and tell him, look, there might be a bear lurking about out there, so watch the baby. But this other celebrity, this was only her second incarnation, and she's insistent that it'll be her last for a couple of centuries. Because she incarnated too soon. She thought, well, I got this, and didn't listen to her soul family. And, there's no forcing when we're writing charts. So I don't know where I was going with that, but old souls and new souls. Yeah. People are like, new soul, all souls were created at the same time. Yes, that is true. But we pick and choose when we incarnate and when we don't. And a lot of celebrities have chosen like this past incarnation of like the celebrities we know them as their last, their final. I mean, I could list off 10 right now that I'm aware of. So.
How much snow in Ohio they called it?
Oh, wow.
You guys up north did. We didn't. I'm in central Ohio. All we got was flurries. So either you're up in North Ohio, because I know along the lake, they got dumped on pretty good. I know my daughter out in Kansas got 5 inches of snow.
It's already not snowing and sunny.
Yeah, it's going to be like
New Jersey. It's definitely every season in one day.
Yep.
Baby dog at 4 today. He's going home, and then there's a hummingbird hanging around the area where I live for close to 8 years now, and a bunch of coyotes. Yeah, I was watching, there's this bear. Well, there was this bear, and I think the hunter that took this bear out, even though he did it during bear season, should be in some trouble. So, for the past few years, there's been reports of like a strange shadowy figure walking on 2 legs in people's yards at night. And it was getting like a lot of news in the area where I live. And I'm thinking for the past few years, I've been following this story, and it actually was a few years ago. And I was reminded of it today to look and see what happened to this shadowy figure that was actually an injured bear that walked around like a person and couldn't get on all fours. So when people would see it running through their yard on 2 legs at night, they were getting freaked out. Somebody took it out, this poor bear. And people took up a collection to get it, the surgery that it needed, if they would humanely catch it, give it the surgery, and then release it back into the wild. But this bear was just like, it was so cute. It was walking around like a little person. And some hunter was like, yeah, well, I shot it. I got to it legally. And it's like, it was injured. It was handicapped.
Yeah.
This bear. And it's funny because you would see it on video, and it would see a human, and it would look, and it would like pretend that it was going to get down, and then it would just run real quick. Like, can't let this human see me. So it was funny because people really were thinking something paranormal was going on. And really it was a black bear. We have black bears here, gigantic ones. I've had them on my porch. They've gone in my son's pool. One of them lifted up it was filled with rainwater. I hadn't put it away yet for the season, and lifted it up and drank from it, and then bit it and threw it across the yard. I mean, Ray left some Easter chocolate in a vehicle, and we came out, and the whole side was dented and claw marks down the side. It was trying to get to the chocolate. The other night there was a raccoon. I mean, they're so adorable. But they're dangerous. And so, my husband's 6'5". He's a pretty deep voice, and he's, scary when he wants to be. So I'm thinking of this tiny little animal, and he's like, get out of here, and he's an animal lover. So he was trying to just, get out of here in his like tough guy voice. This raccoon was around a case of vitamin water that we were donating, and we hadn't brought it from the house to the car. We kind of got halfway there, put it down. We're doing something else. This raccoon jumped up on the vitamin water, got on its hind legs, and went like this.
Come on, fight me.
Right, like, this is mine now. You get out of here, okay, buddy? And it was adorable. We were just laughing, like, yeah, let him have it. So when we came back, it was actually Gatorade. The Gatorade was ripped open, and there was one bottle taken.
They just
So
wanted one bottle.
it was like, you can have the rest, but I'm taking this for myself.
Hi, Dragon. I meant Dragon. Dog man. And yes, I'm okay. Gemma's feeling a little under the weather. I am too, but she's worse than me.
Hey, dog man. Yeah, I'm all right. Sunday was pretty bad. I was crawling from my bed to my bathroom, and I don't get sick like that at all, like ever. It's been years since that happened. But you know, I live with a kindergartner, so I am sick a lot, but just not like that sick. And it's still not gone, but I'm working. That's what I'm happy. If I can work, I'm happy. So dehydrated raccoon, right? Did I say bear? I meant to say raccoon. Divine Empathic, I still owe you a reading. Mark Hall said a reading, guys. I didn't forget y'all. I also have one patron I haven't been able to do yet. It's just with being sick, and then my son with his crazy half day, no school schedule. Thanksgiving was nice. I think we talked about that on Friday. I got this really cute little deck. It's Yin Yang Oracle from Lilith Designs that I'm going to be doing the second week of December with, probably right after we're done here. And with this wig and the two I did shorts on yesterday, my collection is completed for now because I've got to stop for the holidays at least. Angelica, what is up, girl? Nice to see you. Yes, crazy flu. I took a vid test today thinking that that was what the issue was, because I'm like, I don't get sick. And when I'm sick from spirit draining me, it's a whole different type of sick. It's very lethargic, low energy, but I knew something was up because obviously my sinuses.
Yeah, I went to the doctor yesterday for my physical. Cracks me up. I'm there all day. But the one thing he said right off rip is, "Man, you look rough." I go, "I feel rough." He goes, "Well, let's look around." The next thing I know, he's telling me, "Oh, you got an infection behind your eye, an infection in your sinus, an infection in your ear." So he gives me these horse pills to take, but he said everybody's getting it. It's going around fast. It's hanging in.
Yeah, and I give RJ a multivitamin, but that's a good idea. I think I might start him on some vitamin C because he gets sick so easily, that kid.
Give him some of that liquid IV in the morning.
He won't drink that. It's got fake sugar in it. He don't like that. He drinks the Pediasures for like extra vitamins and nutrients, but vitamin C specifically is good for like that airborne stuff. That's mainly vitamin C. Skipper dog hugs. I did. I stuck it right up there, right to my brain. For sure. I just wanted to know because it was just, like I said, it's unusual for me to be as sick as I was. And when I get sick, it's for like a day or two and then everything's gone. You know, I'm not sick for this, 3 days going on 4 days now. So yeah, these are some of the images for the new deck I got. These are for shorts. The decks without books are the decks that I use for the short series. I'm excited about using them. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 decks for the short series now. So definitely investing in those. Lost my taste and smell. I can't tell if I can taste or smell anything. Like sometimes I feel like I can, and then sometimes I'm like, don't know if I can taste that. C, D, B12, and zinc. Yeah, I take the Care of vitamins. I know B12 is in there because that's how I lost my hair. I was so deficient. And I'm like terrified that that's going to happen again. But yeah, guys, so it's been definitely a crazy week. And I'm just looking forward to, getting a full week of work, which I'm hoping to be able to do. Sunday will be the start of it. I'll get the full day Sunday. And then all next week, I should have nothing else to do. Where a part of me was like, man, if this test is positive, I can send a picture of it to Mary, to the nurse at my doctor's office, and be like, what am I going to do? I've done it. I had it once before years ago, January of 2021. And it wasn't me that had it. My husband had it. And she was like, no, don't come in. I'll just fill your script for you. And I didn't have to give urine because they trust me, because I'm going on. Actually, December 21st is 5 years that I have completely and totally sober and on that clinic. So.
All these.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And Edna, you know, that stuff for my tooth has not hurt since Friday night. Throughout all this, the only thing I can say is that is much better is my tooth. So I thank you. And I definitely will.
You know, it's funny because my dad watched me watch the replay of that. And he goes, I've been doing that for years. And I go, is that why you threw away all the numbing stuff for your gums and stuff? He goes, yeah, because I've always used a baking soda and hydroperoxide on my teeth to stop pain. He goes, I thought everybody knew that.
No, everyone did not know that, but I'll tell you what, I will never use that other crap again, because I'm telling you, I only used it once and I was in severe pain. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I used it Friday night and I used it Saturday in the morning.
That was smart.
And that was it. That was it. It hasn't hurt since. It's still moving closer. I'd still have to do something about it. But for now, at least I don't have that on top of anything else. White in my teeth. Herbal apothecary. That's awesome. Thank you, Miss Divine Empathic. Yeah, I forget. I'm like, wait a minute. Oh, 5 years next month. So yeah, definitely. I remember when I couldn't go 5 seconds. So that's good. And then I remember when I can go 5 minutes, and I tried 5 days, 5 hours a couple of times. 5 months was a big deal. And now 5 years. And it's not always easy, especially when the weather changes. I remember Tennille was like, oh, this happens to you every year, doesn't it? I was like, yeah, because when the leaves first start falling, I go into a panic state. It was only me all alone. And I would just be every day from my house to the spot, from the spot to my house, to the spot, to the house, to the spot. And sometimes I'd stop at the store in between. That was my life. That is what I did for 5.5 straight years. So when the weather starts to change, I really notice it. Like when I saw the snow, I was like, Miss Paranormal Pixie. So from what I understand, it should be out at the latest the 1st or 2nd week of January. They're trying to get it out towards the end of December. So trust me, I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
That's the only time I go to the doctor's, Edna, is when I can't fix it myself.
I was kind of talking to my mom about that today, where she was like, oh, I still have some congestion. Now, this is going back to Halloween, which, all right, maybe. She's like, I'm not going to the doctor for this. I'm like, Mom, but you do have COPD. So I would just check because of your underlying lung condition. But she's stubborn. She's not going to listen to me.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, let's try to let's try to push it a little bit to the paranormal. Miss Pixie, thank you for that. So the Black Eyed Kids book, I will tell you guys, I have a lot of unique and not heard yet, as far as I know, stories in that book, and a lot of unique information. Some of it channeled, but some of it through extensive research that I did. That's why that book took me almost an entire year, whereas my other ones took me anywhere from 4 to 6 months. Also, I was afraid that I was going to get a knock if I focused too much on the Black Eyed Kids, and I really was. I really was afraid of that. So that's why I kind of drew that book out a little bit. The stubborn, yeah, I know. It runs in the family. My dad's the same way, completely hard-headed. But yeah, so I have some unique, so I'll just tell you guys about one story. A friend of mine from here in Jersey told me about, and she told me about this so long ago. I actually had to look her up, recontact her. It was someone that I worked with at a diner years and years ago. And I remember I didn't know about the BEK phenomenon back then. I had no idea about it. And this is actually what set me off to look into it. This and that, about a week after she told me the story, I finally saw the Monsters and Mysteries in America episode, the Brian Bethel story of what happened to him. And it just, I was hooked. And I said to myself, man, I'd love to write a book about this one day. And I never dreamed that I actually would. But anyway, she was stranded. Her car broke down on the side of the road. I think she said it was in the 90s. I know she didn't have any cell phones or anything. And it was one of those long Jersey roads. I'm sure a lot of places have them throughout the country where there are really no street lights. And the nearest town is, a couple miles down the road. So I don't know if her car ran out of gas, or I think her car had run out of gas. And she was like, I can walk to the gas station, but it's going to take me a really long time. This road is really dark, or I can sit here and hope someone drives by. But it was like the middle of the night. She was getting off a late work shift because the diners, we have the most diners of anywhere in the United States, and they stay open usually 24 hours. So a shift will go like from 4 p.m. to 4 a.m. and you're up. So two girls come walking out of the bushes as she lights a cigarette, and she's thinking, that's weird. Why are two young girls in the middle of nowhere walking out of the woods? Right? Like I'm just going to ignore that. And if I leave them alone, they'll leave me alone. They weren't sinister looking at first. She was just wondering, should I try to help them as the adult here, see if maybe they need help? So anyway, one of them asked, I don't know if she asked to bum a cigarette or if they just called to her. But anyway, this whole weird scenario plays out. And she says, screw this. She gets back in her car and decides to drive it on E, just putt up the road until she gets far enough away from these girls. I don't remember why she had to pull over and stop. It had to have been something where she could just move along. She had a flat tire. That's what it was. So she decided to ride the rim, because I'm thinking if she didn't have gas, there's no way. So anyway, as she looks in the rearview mirror, the one girl has her head down and is just going like this. Like almost robotic, and the other girl is going like this, kind of and when she looks back, they both just go like this. Really, really, really creepy stuff. And that was one of the stories in my book that really stuck out. Obviously, there's a lot more to it, but I just thought that was
stupid question. Did you bring up my crazy weirdness of black-eyed kids in hospitals?
I don't think I have a chapter on hospitals. No. Mm-mm. I plan on writing for my next book another compilation, and I was planning on putting that one in there. I want to put that more of like a compilation book. Instead of making it about the black-eyed kid, make it about what goes on in hospitals. Yeah, what goes on in hospitals. I thought it would be better suited to that.
I was there all day yesterday, and I walked the hospital for like 10 minutes before I left. I couldn't find it. It was just so weird, because usually I see. I look. And this guy goes, "What are you doing?" I go, "Oh, I'm just looking for something."
Yeah, I'm just looking for a
black-eyed kid that hangs out here. No big deal.
Blue Crossroads, that's true. Robotic and coming out of the woods, robot granny. Yeah, I mean, there was another case where I don't know if this is in my book, but I heard about it, where the black-eyed kids knocked on the door, and they would not leave. And the guy didn't know what was going on. He didn't know what a black-eyed kid was, but he knew these creepy little kids would not leave his doorstep. So he went and got his firearm. And when he came back aiming it at the door, the kids were gone, but there was a white-eyed, kind of like young adult there that said, "Where are they?" And he said, "I don't know. I was ready to get rid of them." Just as creeped out by the white eyes. And the white-eyed person said, You'll not have to be bothered by them ever again," and walked off. And he was like, all right. And he just closed his door and locked it. And he never was bothered by them again. But usually people are only bothered once, which is that's what gets me about the BEK phenomenon. You don't get consecutive visits. No. So I always thought maybe the hybrid's gone wrong, or the hybrids of a nastier race of ETs or something that are going to their human parent, and the human parent's unknowing anything about it or something. But if that were the case, the same people would be getting multiple visits, right? There has to be something. I think they're just randomly freaking choosing where they're going. I think they do too.
I think they do too. Or they sense, or they're in the area and they sense a weak person, or possibly weak person. And they'd go after that, what they smell, as I call them, they smell them out. But That's like the white-eyed person you just talked about. The white-eyed girl I saw in the hospital was really weird. Even though she made me nervous and a little scared and come off creepy, I didn't get a bad vibe from her. It just, she made it well known that I would never see her again and I wasn't supposed to see her. But I never got this like, oh, this thing's evil, like I did with off and on with the black-eyed boy.
A lot of people don't get that feeling about white-eyed kids, but when I went deeper into my research, what I discovered is a lot of the time they're not found where the black-eyed kids are found. Sometimes they will be. And especially if you're a sensitive, you will come across them more than like your average person. So 2 things. One I found was that people aren't afraid of them because they seem to be being entranced by them to not be afraid. I've met people who months later remember having a one-sided telepathic conversation with a white-eyed kid where they cannot remember what was telepathically communicated to them after right before they disappeared for an hour or 2 with no memory of where they went, what they did. Okay, that creeps me out. What are these white-eyed things telling people to go and do? Number 2, I've said it time and time again, and I even said it to my sister. I was like, you better educate your husband because like mine will let them in. Mine will be like, oh, interesting contacts you got there. Come on in, guys. You know, but I wonder if the that panic would well up even in such an intense non-believer as Ray is.
I believe so, because there are stories of people that said, you know, they're not scared of anything, but then they come across these things and these 2 kids and it really put the fear of God in them, pardon the expression. And they were nervous. They were, you know, hey, this is not cool. I got to go.
I mean, he is adamant. Oh, now it's snowing like crazy again. He is adamant that, you know, none of it exists. We're all lunatics and, you know, whatever the case may be, which, you know, that's fine. I mean, I know my own experiences. It would be nice to have someone who believed me, but I don't think it's that he doesn't believe me. I just think that it's not something that he wants to deal with. Like he doesn't want to have to deal with what it means if everything I'm saying is true. Like he already has enough on his plate, like dealing with actual life. You know what I'm saying? So very reasonable and level-headed. And I get that. But like going to like a haunted bed and breakfast, he was like, well, can I go? And I was like, you know what? Yes, let's go together because I want to film it. I was planning on filming it anyway when I went, and I'm still going to go with my mom and sister, but I would like to go with him because if you remember at Power Unity, when Dave Schrader told that story about the wives that were in the hallway yelling at the husbands who were being like choked out by entities that they didn't even believe in and they didn't even want to go on the trip as it was. I'm like, I wonder if it'll go after whatever it is, go after him because he is so adamantly a non-believer. So that remains to be seen. I'm hoping to.
That's a great story too, because that happens a lot.
February. Oh yeah,
that happens a lot where people go with their others, and they're wanting an experience, but the other person who doesn't believe is usually the one that has them, and it never fails.
Yeah, and I think that also, like when we go looking for the experience, we're hey, Bat Mom, we're opening ourselves up to more experience, but also at the same time, it's like we're trying too hard. And some playful spirits will be like, well, what's the fun if they're not really going to be freaked out because they're expecting it, right? So I think someone like him would be very interesting, especially to video, like a subject in a haunted bed and breakfast. So we're going to do that hopefully sometime in March or February or maybe near my birthday. And it's going to be fun. And I'm going to bring you guys along because I just have a feeling like something is telling me, bring him. Like I'm hearing it, like bring him to me, you know, like, but not in a sinister way.
This is not with family with me though, but it happens with friends. I've had friends call me at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Hey, Steve, wake up. I'm awake. You know, I'm awake. What do you want? There's a problem at my house. What do I do?
A lot of times, yeah, and do you mean like spirit isn't supposed to be here? Like, there's earthbound spirits who decided not to, for whatever reason, transition. But eventually they do. I mean, they could stay for centuries. It doesn't pass like our time passes. It doesn't seem like centuries. You know what I'm saying? But eventually they will be brought to the light or to the other side, whatever you want to call it, by someone like me or just by their own team and their own guides. They have to be really like reprogrammed in a way, because you lose part of your soul when you do that, when you're earthbound. And a lot of times it's mainly out of fear, you know.
A lot of times I get the impression the longer you hang around, the more you decay.
So Paranormal Pixie, I'm sorry, Stephen, I didn't hear about that event, but I will definitely be looking into it. The name of the place that I'm going to go to is a place I was invited to speak. Now, this is very weird. I just typed in PA to type in Palmer House, and Para-Rational Black-Eyed Kids popped up, which is kind of shocking because I haven't looked up the Black-Eyed Kids since before I handed my book in. Palmer House. This place is in Gettysburg, and they want me to talk about the Black-Eyed Kids and or the shadow entity phenomenon at kind of like while they're also doing the Gettysburg reenactments. I'm a huge history buff. I mean, that's going to be just spectacular for me. It happens next July.
Oh, and that will trigger things like you would not believe. Every time they have those reenactments, everything jumps up like a whole nother level.
For sure. I will definitely have to be careful in that instance, but I'm going to bring my mom, of course, like I always do. Is it in Minnesota? Because what I just looked up says Illinois, but I'm sure there's probably more than one. And that's because earthbound spirits can't come in dreams, and a lot of times they're not the best. A lot of the time it'll be a dark spirit, right? Someone who's going to be completely reborn. Or I've seen several cases of a mother and a child, or a parent and a child who have passed at the same time in some kind of tragic accident, where each stays around to look for the other, but they just don't connect somehow, even though they're in the same place searching, until someone like me or even a paranormal investigation team with, you know, a little bit of training and know-how will be able to reconnect them. But other than that, it is usually the people who are what I deem dark spirits, and that's why they do that. It's out of fear of where they're going or not going. So I always say, you know, hell, it may exist, but it's not, it wasn't created for humanity. Unless you like have this vision in your head of hell and that you are definitely going there when you die, you'll go there for a little bit until you remember, like, you know, this is not where I belong. And then you'll be immediately taken out. And that's even if that happens. You have to be like really manifesting that into your everyday life for a long time. Really, what will happen if you are a dark spirit? Not if you make mistakes in life, not if you accidentally hurt others or hurt others due to some mental illness or deficiency, or there is such like a low standard for moving on to someplace better because of contracts, you know. I'm going to have to check out Dave's
website
podcast. Yeah. Because I don't even have time to watch my own videos. If you guys notice, I'm never in the premieres. Like it's not because I don't want to be there with y'all. I just don't have time. And before we end, I would just like to, I'm going to be back on the Paranormal 60 once the book comes out to promote it for sure. I already spoke to Dave about that. But before we end, I covered yesterday the twin connection. I talked about some crazy cases of twin connection. I'm trying my best for Friday to get out cases of mass hysteria to members. And I don't know what we're covering yet Monday because I haven't had a chance, because Sunday is usually when I do the following Monday's video and script it out and I get like an idea of what we're going to talk about. And I wasn't able to. Sauk Center, Minnesota. All right, guys. Let me let y'all go. I've got about an hour and I still haven't done yoga. Now it's sunny and not snowing again. So this is what I deal with. Okay. Totally what I deal with. I probably won't be around tomorrow, but remember when watching the shorts I just put out, first of all, please watch them. Second of all, it's the first time I'm doing anything on moon signs. The 60-second format is a little hard for me. And yeah, Louisiana is a place that I definitely want to go with my mom and just explore, because my mom's always had an obsession with it. I know that in another incarnation, she had to have come from there. She is just very, very drawn to that state specifically. She always has been. And it's definitely something we want to check out and we want to do. Guys, I feel like I just rambled for like 5 hours. I'm feeling so disconnected from myself right now. But I love you guys, and keep checking out the shorts, keep watching the videos, sharing out, leaving positive comments. We hit 3,000 subscribers, guys. So I'm thinking of a celebration stream for that. I'm really excited. I wanted to do that today and forgot all about it because I'm not feeling well, but that is amazing. So I thank you guys for that. Thank you so much. And what's up, baby UFO? Have a great, fantastic rest of your day, rest of your week. And I will see you Friday for Live Intuitive Oracle. Miss Pixie, I am so on it. Yes, guys. Yes. We have more than 3,000 subs now. Love you all. Bye-bye.
Have a good one, folks. See you tomorrow.